just the fact that 51% of kids leave primary school unable to swim in this country shocks me to my core, that I'm like, that is unacceptable. It's just a non-negotiable for my kids that they learn how to swim. And I think I just wanted to do something about it. It really inspired me to go, hold on, I can't keep saying that it's everyone's fault. Oh, it's school's fault. Oh, it's parents' fault. Oh, it's the government's fault. When actually, if I'm not doing anything about it myself.
This is The Summit by Fields Adventures. I'm David Newns, and every week, my co-founder Dominic McGregor and I will be talking to inspirational leaders about their experiences as they strive towards their summit. Welcome to The Summit by Fields Adventures. Here we talk to amazing entrepreneurs about their professional and their personal journeys. Today we're here with Rebecca Adlington, who is an Olympic swimmer and amazing business owner now, who's the founder of Swim. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you for having me.
So you're at school. Swimming, was it part of your life then? When was swimming part of your life?
Since I pretty much was born, to be honest.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So swimming's like such a young sport.
Okay.
So pretty much like since I learned to swim at 3, like just the normal age, and then kind of went and joined a club about 8 or 9, and then properly, what I consider like your proper training, not just like your general like lesson. Started doing the proper training from about 11.
Yeah.
So it was all the early mornings, all the early starts, all the weekends, competitions, everything from pretty much 11, 12 years old. Just because of the nature of the sport, like you don't find many swimmers in their like 40s.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So you've only got that like little window. It's very similar to gymnastics.
Okay.
It's just a young sport.
Yeah. Was it you wanting to step in and join these clubs, or were you being said, well, why don't you join this because you're actually really good? Or how did it work?
Because I just grew up in Mansfield and there was not much else to do.
Okay.
So I'm from a very small town, and in Mansfield we're extremely lucky to have 2 swimming pools.
Right, okay.
Because normally in towns, you barely, some of them even have 1 swimming pool. Let alone 2 swimming pools, and we live literally around the corner.
Okay.
We walked to the swimming pool. Having 2 older sisters, they both swam as well. So it was just a case of it became a family activity.
Right.
Like it was just something we did at weekends, etc. And I loved it. I wanted all my birthday parties at the pool, all of that sort of thing.
Really that ingrained, okay.
Oh God, I absolutely loved it. I just loved being in water. If we were on holiday, I'd be one of those kids that slapped sun cream on in the morning, and I'd be in the pool the whole day. My mum and dad, instead, they got to the point where they couldn't battle to put sun cream on me. They just shoved a t-shirt on me because I was like, I'm not getting out. I just loved being in the water. Absolutely loved it. And then it was just, obviously you do other stuff, don't you? You have school. I was doing like bits of netball or cross country. You do all these different things, don't you, as a kid? And I think swimming just became that one that I loved the most. I had the best friends. Like I just kind of wanted to go back to the pool all the time. Much to my mum and dad's dismay, that they were like, oh God, we're getting up at 4:30 every morning. I don't think it was definitely my mum and dad's decision to be waking up at 4:30 every day, but I just absolutely loved it. And they were just happy to see their child love it. They didn't think, oh, Becky's going to go to the Olympics. Like nobody thought that, especially from a small town. I'd never even met another Olympian. Like, do you know what I mean? I'd never even done anything. So it wasn't that we had that mindset. It was just simply just a hobby. And I think when you're a parent, you just do anything for your kids that you just want to see them have fun, don't you?
When did you know that this could be more than just a hobby?
Literally when I made the Olympics and got my Olympic medal.
Really? You didn't know until then?
No, I think I did everything really backwards in my career, as in like normally you're progressing, you go to a Commonwealth, you go to a World Championships, you get in medals, and then you go to the Olympics and kind of you're already on this stepping stone. Whereas I got ill when I was about 15. I got glandular fever and post-viral fatigue. My sister had encephalitis, which was a brain virus. So there was like this funny point in my teenage years when I should have been making the Commonwealth Games and doing other events where I didn't, because the illness took probably a good year to a year and a half to fully recover from. I still swam during that period, but everything had to be monitored, like always checking my heart rate. I wasn't allowed to go over a certain level. It was constant blood tests, doctors checking everything. So I wasn't really allowed to compete in that time. But I think it enabled me to still love the sport. It enabled me to focus on my technique and other areas of the sport, which really benefited from. And then, so when I made the Olympic Games, it was kind of a bit of a complete shock because I'd never been to a Commonwealth Games or really done anything in the sport. I mean, I made the World Championships the year before the Olympics, but I didn't even make a final. So I literally was nothing. So I think it was a complete surprise. So normally people, you're kind of on that trajectory, whereas I just did it all backwards.
Just went straight in the deep end, literally.
Exactly.
In those early days, did you have any kind of people inspired you or mentors, or was there anyone there kind of going, come on, Becky, let's,
Not massively, no.
Really?
Like swimming's swimming's one of the highest participated sports in the country. Like most people think it's football, but it's actually not, because you participate in swimming from pretty much the minute you're born to you're in your 90s, whereas there's only a certain age that you actually play football for. So swimming is, like, with it being the highest participated sport, it was just one of those things that everyone loves, everyone does, everyone just enjoys, don't they, and everything else. And I was certainly one of them, and always a complete shock to me when it was like, oh, I've made the Olympics, oh, I've got a gold medal, oh, I've got a world record. Like, it was just like, oh, okay, never expected any of that.
Do you ever wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, what happened?
Do you know what? Less now. Like, it's always really nice now when I go to anywhere and I get the medals back. My life is so far from that now compared to when I compete. And I almost feel like it didn't happen, because now I think, oh God, I get tired walking up the stairs. So there is always that pinch me moment where I'm like, I forget about that point in my life. And especially because you are so young, it's not like other sports as well where you have a really long career. We don't. Like, don't get me wrong, I trained for 15 years, but I only went to 2 Olympic Games. So that was only really over a stretch of like 4 years.
Wow.
So you're only kind of at that height for that period. Some people go on, most swimmers go to 2, or some people do go to 3. So it's only really max 8 years. It's not like other sports where it's kind of a 20-year, really long career going into their 40s, etc. You just don't get that within the sport. But I think that makes it more like, you've got to go for it at that exact moment. You've got to take that opportunity, because there is only now. You only have this really small window. I mean, it makes it small with the Olympics only being every 4 years as well, which doesn't help. So if you miss that Olympics, well, then you've got to wait another 4 years for it to come around.
Is there kind of a worry that, what we do after swimming, you've probably sacrificed a lot because you were intensively training to be, a swimmer. Were you therefore, not thinking about what you could be doing later, or were your parents worried about, oh my gosh, at this age, what are you going to do?
100%. I actually didn't go on to do my A-levels at school, because that was the year that I got glandular fever and post-viral fatigue. So my mum said, while me and my sister were recovering, said, right, like, take a year off and just get healthy, just get well. And then I was meant to go back to college. I'd applied. I had done everything to go back to college before Beijing. I'm not academic at all, but I was like, okay, I'm going back to college. I knew what I was going to study. I had my place. I had everything set up. And then obviously Beijing happened. And I think it was after my second gold medal that I phoned my parents and went, does this mean I don't have to go back to college? And they were like, yeah, you don't have to go back to college. I was like, thank gosh, yes. So I was like, yes. It wasn't for me. Both my sisters were very, very academic. They always got A stars and everything. And I was always compared to them at school, and I was just like, every teacher was thoroughly disappointed when they got me, because they were like, ooh, not quite the A star of your sisters then. But I think it is one of those things that is now openly talked about within the sport, because you've got to think about that afterwards. Like, I wasn't massively thinking about after my career, but at the same time, like, I was one of those people. I think there's 2 types of people in swimming. Ones that will just keep going until somebody forces them to stop, as in, because they are not making teams, they're not getting funding, they absolutely have to stop. So they will squeeze every bit of life out of the sport. Then there's other people that want to finish on a high. I knew I was always in that camp. I always wanted to finish my career on a high. I didn't want to damage my legacy by just kind of keep trying to go at something when it's just not going to happen. So I think I always knew that. So I wasn't scared of retirement. And I didn't have a clue what I was going to do after sport. I had no clue
idea
at all. And it is a really daunting thing. And I think that's why a lot of people do carry on and squeeze everything out of it, because they have no idea what to do. I mean, it is really common in the sport that people will study, because, again, being young, a lot of people go to uni, they do it part-time, so they've got something afterwards. But it's a really scary thought, really, really scary. And it definitely took me a while to find my feet. I was just like, I just felt lost for about 6 months going, I don't know what I'm doing, because especially within sport, your life is scheduled out. I could have told you in 3 years' time where I was going to be in the sport, like as in everything is mapped out.
Yeah.
Well, you do a 4-year plan
Wow.
between Olympics. So you know what competitions you're going to, you know what your schedule is, you know when your time off is, you know absolutely everything for 4 years. So then you stop and you go, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow and next week. That it's that openness of not having a routine and schedule that is quite a daunting one, because you go, well, hold on, what's my purpose? What am I waking up for? What am I doing now? And you've definitely got to go out and find that, which I think is the biggest challenge.
Yeah. We speak to a lot of entrepreneurs who have sold their businesses, for example. It's the same kind of pivot. It's like, oh, that was my identity. That's what I was known as. Who am I now? What's my purpose in society? But also, what am I adding to the world? Like that's a tough period, right?
So tough. I think that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone has, like, I was always Becky the swimmer. Yeah. And people even still say to me now, oh, are you that swimmer lady? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Yeah. Like, I haven't swam in 11 years. I haven't been that swimmer lady. But that becomes your label. And I was definitely in that camp. And it took me a long time to go, I don't actually know who Becky is or what Becky wants. Like, it's kind of like hard because you always have that label. And now I've got so many different hats. I'm Becky the mum, I'm Becky the wife, I'm Becky the business owner, I'm Becky the BBC pundit sometimes. Sometimes I'm just that girl that did I'm a Celeb. Like, I'm all these different things, but I love that. And I love the fact that you get to change and have that identity where it's just so open. I'm not now just one thing, which is really nice.
Yeah. You've now set Swim up as a business. I mean, what was the purpose behind Swim, and what was the inspiration behind setting that business up?
Do you know what? London was a massive inspiration for me. And I know that sounds really corny and cheesy that the Olympics are that, but I think that whole Inspire a Generation motto of the London Olympics, I mean, that Olympics more than any other Olympics, I'm not just saying that because I'm biased and because I'm British, but it really was about legacy. Yeah. It really was about setting something up that was sustainable and that was going to be there, that people could use. Like, I think it's amazing in this country that we have got that Olympic park to go to, because I've traveled all over the world with sport and I've been to different countries where Olympic Games are at, and I'm like, oh, that looks really rubbish now, and they've knocked it down, or there isn't anything there for people to see. So it's great that people have something like the Aquatic Centre on their doorstep to take their kids to be able to see it and live it and breathe it, and it's an amazing place. But it completely inspired me to kind of go, hold on, because we've had shocking statistics of learn to swim in this country. Like, when you go to Australia, when you go to America, they take swimming really, really seriously. It's a life skill. Yeah. It's number one life skill. It's kind of the only sport that can save your life, and it's just a non-negotiable. I know they have pools everywhere, so it's very different in those countries because there's literally pools on every single corner, unlike us. But they take it so seriously because of the dangers in the water, because of what they're exposed to. But us as this tiny little island don't. Yeah. And I'm like, only because the weather isn't nice, because we don't have pools outside, do we not take it seriously as a life skill? So I spent those 4 years between Beijing and London constantly trying to promote the sport, constantly trying to get people into swimming, being safe, kids learning how to swim. Just the fact that 51% of kids leave primary school unable to swim in this country shocks me to my core, that I'm like, that is unacceptable. It's just a non-negotiable for my kids that they learn how to swim. And I think I just wanted to do something about it. It really inspired me to go, hold on, I can't keep saying that it's everyone's fault. Oh, it's school's fault. Oh, it's parents' fault. Oh, it's the government's fault. When actually, if I'm not doing anything about it myself. So I kind of took that really seriously, set up my Learn to Swim program. And it's kind of obviously just gone on and on and on. And it got to the point where it was like we were in everyone else's facilities, and then you can't control that customer journey. You can't control anything about it. So that's where Swim was born. The fact that we build our own centres, we make it just specifically for children. It's not a leisure centre where you've got other people in. This is just for kids. It's lovely and warm. It's purpose-built in that environment. There's no manky foot bath that you have to walk through, because everyone remembers the foot bath at the swimming baths that you walk through, or plasters floating, or getting a black brick on the bottom of the pool as they learn to swim journey, or people have these really vivid memories of learning to swim as a kid, and we just want to go, no, it's not about that. It's not an Olympic program either, because people always think like we're churning Olympians out, and I'm like, we're not at all. Be great if any were in the future, but it's one of those, we want kids to learn this amazing life skill, but in a fun and safe, like brilliant way.
And where are you today? How many pools have you got? Where are you on that journey?
We've got 10 swimming centres up and down the country. Yeah, we've just opened our 10th one in Newcastle. We've got our 11th coming literally in 3 months' time.
Okay.
It's just been amazing, like to have 15,000 kids swimming with us across those 10 sites. Just every week is just phenomenal. We want to take over the country because obviously there's a lot of country and we're only 10 swim centres, but we will slowly get there where we want to build pools where there isn't that space there. We're not going into places that have got an abundance of swimming pools. We really want to cater to those councils, to those areas that they're really, really struggling. They're really deprived. They're really in need of a swimming centre, and that's why we go there, because actually there's no other option for these kids.
Is it quite accessible in terms of inclusivity? Or how's that? How are you thinking about that in your business model?
Do you know what? We think about kind of absolutely everything. So we make sure that it is kind of disability friendly as well, that we make sure all of our facilities have got your ramps, that they're safe to do so. We train our own teachers as well. So we really want to give kind of 16, 17, 18-year-olds a place to come and work that is a really great place to work, that it's really fulfilling, really rewarding. Right. So training our own swim teachers is something that's been massive for us and for the community as well. We want those guys that are going to uni or at college to be able to have something that genuinely is such a rewarding life skill sort of job. We're in really, really diverse communities as well. It's not just middle-class white people. It's not. We're in, well, I mean, Britain isn't that anyway, is it? But we're in these areas. We're in Batley and Albury and Birmingham and in all across Liverpool. And we've just opened up in Newcastle. We're not just going to your posh end of Kensington in London. That's not what we're doing.
And you kind of made a relationship with JD Sports, if I'm right. Yeah, I mean, how did that come about, and how's that working out?
It's been one of those that obviously we're not government funded. Yeah. It's been one of those that we've constantly relied on deaf funding. And it was last year where we were kind of looking at options, looking at kind of, right, how do we need money to roll out all these swimming pools that we want to roll out. I mean, we want to have 200 swim sites. So we need some funding to do that. It can't just keep being myself. There's myself, Steve Parry and Adrian Turner. All three of us are Olympians, but we would love to fund it ourselves. But we're not made of money. We don't have money trees in our house. So it was just those options when we're exploring it. And then kind of the trade option came on the table. For us, it was something that we thought was way down the line in the future. We thought, hold on, we're still in kind of our infancy as a business, really. But we're doing something that is so unique, that is so great for the country as well. So it was just kind of working with them. And they were like, we want to buy part of your business. And we were like, happy days. Because obviously with JD as well, they're such a brilliant partner. Like, I think with it being JD Gyms, that is in that. I mean, they're all about that fitness. They're all about that health industry. And I think it was just such a perfect partner. They're rolling out gyms across the country. So why don't we launch dual sites together? So Albury and Newcastle, we're right next door. So you'll go in this door for JD Gyms, this door for swim. So it's been a fantastic rollout opportunity for us as well with how quickly they're scaling. I mean, we're quite not the level of gyms that they have, but we're certainly trying to be.
And how's the kind of culture, that you're a small business, they're a big business. How does that work culturally and operationally and day to day? And
it's one of those that we're starting to kind of do that integration piece now. I mean, I sit on the board meetings, obviously, so every single month we come together, but now as teams, we're starting to integrate. We're starting to integrate the marketing teams and the property teams and everything else. And actually, it's been really welcome. They're not a huge, you think, like, I thought going into their offices, oh my gosh, it's going to be humongous and it's going to be
big boardroom and
and it's not. There's such a fantastic team of people. They're actually relatively a small team of people as well, because obviously a lot of their venues, they're mainly on site, just like our teams, they're mainly on site as well. So our head office teams are actually relatively small. So it's actually worked out really, really well. And we're in North Manchester and they're in Wigan. So again, not that far. So it's culturally as well, we're all trying to do something amazing. We're all in that same sort of kind of leisure industry. So again, theirs is adults and ours is children, but we're essentially still doing the same sort of things. We're kind of finding a box, filling it full of people and hopefully giving them an amazing experience.
I mean, you've been through like a lot of phases of business process in like a really short time, right? You've kind of gone from not being in business at all to like start up and kind of really fast scale through to an M&A process, really, through to now being part of a much larger organization and really like super scaling, even like the language, the terminology, the financial acumen. And I mean, how have you managed to absorb all that and, come across as if this all looks super simple?
It's definitely not super simple, that's for sure. Certainly when it comes to financial language, I sit there and I'm like, oh my gosh, finance is definitely my weakest area. Whenever we do balanced scorecard, I'm great on people and customers and ops. Finance, I'm like, it is a bit daunting, but I think it's one of those as well. I think I'm so passionate about it as well. I genuinely love it. Like if somebody said to me, Becky, you could have this business or your Olympic medals and you could only pick one, I'd choose this any day of the week.
Really?
And I know that sounds really bizarre because for many people, they would never have the Olympic medals, but they could have the business. Whereas for me, I just find what we're doing is so rewarding. Like I go to our swim centres and I see these kids' faces absolutely lighting up. I see them learning a valuable life skill, something that's going to stay with them forever. It's like riding a bike. If you learn how to swim as a child, you will have it forever. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't go away. You will always know. And I just think that is so valuable. So what we're doing is just so rewarding. I come home and I'm so inspired. I'm so like passionate about it because with swimming, it don't get me wrong, I loved it, but it was so selfish. You have to be so selfish to be an elite sports person because everything evolves around you and your performance, and it is a very selfish environment. And then you step into this business world and it's not all about you and you have to work together as a team. And I just love that environment and what we're trying to achieve. And I think this is definitely more of my legacy. Like them Olympic medals and the world records were great, but I want this to be my legacy. I want people to go, gosh, Becky really revolutionised swimming. She really changed the way swimming is done in this country. And I'd love to have that legacy.
Do you think a lot of the things you learn about leadership in the Olympics and your swimming and the whole way you're led and inspiration, are you using that in the way you're leading this business? And is that different than other things you've seen in business?
I think with us three all being Olympians as well as business partners, we're all very, very similar-minded. And like we are... We're all very good at goal setting. We love a bit of a goal set. And it's kind of like funny that other people don't goal set and kind of how they are. I think we're very, very big on recognition and reward as well, because I think that was the stark difference when we first started is the fact that in sport, that recognition is always there because it's like, oh, you've won a race. You've got a medal. Well done. And it's kind of like, it's always that culture. But then in business, it's very, very hard to replicate that. No one's giving you a medal or a trophy in the office, are you? And if you've done something good, it's like, well done, you've done your job. It's not even that like...
Rewarding,
exactly. So I think that was kind of the stark difference when we started. But I think definitely the fundamental things, your discipline, your determination, hard work, communication, routine, structure, all that sort of stuff, like getting our business rhythm, we're all really keen to have that. And I think that's definitely come from sport. We're very similar in those things. So I think that's why it works so well. And plus, we don't take things personally. I was so used to being criticised. I have noticed some people in the office that haven't come from that background, you sometimes take criticism very personally, or it's really hard to pass on constructive criticism. Whereas, because we're from sport, we're like, yeah, okay. Like nothing's ever offensive. Like I've never fallen out with my business partners at all because it's just about development. It's just that you've got to criticize to then get better, to then learn, to then grow. And we just don't take it to heart. So it works really well.
Now I'm fascinated between the kind of conversions between kind of sports and leadership. I think it's really, really interesting. I think a lot of businesses, could do a lot in terms of learning from that. So fascinating. You're actually practicing it, right? You're seeing it for yourself. So it's amazing. Yeah,
exactly.
So what is your summit? Are you there? Are you on the way there? Do you even know what it looks like?
Well, I kind of do. Obviously, from a business aspect, I think we would love to have multiple, we're aiming for 200 swim sites across the country. I know. And just to be able to really change those learn to swim statistics, I'd love to see that number come down. The only thing since COVID, since the lockdowns, the learn to swim statistics are getting worse. It's going to go up to 3 in 5 kids are unable to learn to swim. I think they're predicted 2,000 swimming pools to close over the next 10 years across the country. And it's kind of just getting drastically worse. And I think we're kind of at this point where we're having a real crisis when it comes to swimming pools. I know energy costs have gone through the roof, so government have stepped in and given some support there, but I'd love to be able to say that we've revolutionised that space. We're doing things in a very, very different way to be sustainable, but also be cost effective as well. Like, you don't have to build a £25 million leisure centre anymore. Like, it's kind of like they're historic traditional ways, but we can move on, we can find cheaper solutions. So I think just giving these kids that opportunity to learn this life skill, because not only will we not see more Olympians in the future, because it will have that effect. If nobody's learning, we won't have anyone getting Olympic medals, but more so, well, the drowning rates going up every year, the obesity rates going up every single year, kids suffering with mental health is going up every single year, and swimming can obviously help with all of that. It has a massive impact. So I'm not saying we're going to cure obesity or change anything like that, but that's definitely the ambition, that we just want to give children the opportunity to learn how to swim, whether that's in schools because we do national curriculum, or whether that's parents taking their kids as well. We just want them to have the opportunity. So that's definitely my target over the next 10 years. I would say we're slowly at the bottom, and we're only just starting that summit. We've got a long way to go, and a long way personally for me to climb as well. I've only just kind of been exposed to the buyout last year and everything else. I've definitely got a long way to go in business, that's for sure.
Do you think being a mum changed your perspective about what your ambitions are in life and your summit? Definitely.
It's kind of one of those that being a mum is kind of, I want my kids to see their parent loving their job and understanding that hard work and what they're trying to do. But also I think it kind of gives you that real empathy sometimes that you need in business, the radical candor, that whole bit in business that actually, it sometimes, especially as you get bigger, you can lose that family feel, you can lose that culture, you can just lose that bit where it's like, hey, how are you? Like that chat. And actually, we want people to love coming to work. We want to look after the guys. We want people to be passionate about coming to work for us as well. And that's something that is a real core value of ours as well. And I think it certainly helped me definitely just put things in perspective as well. It's nice that you get to go home sometimes and your kids, they don't ask you about work, do they? That you just get to switch off. And I think that's sometimes the real beauty, because I think in sport, I could never really switch off because it's constantly like performance. Whereas now you come home and your kids don't want to talk to you about work. I walk through the door after a hard day, probably if it's a really crap day as well. And my little boy's like, Thomas, because he wants to watch Thomas the Tank Engine. My daughter's like, Mummy, can you watch my show? And I'm like, okay, I'm fully in mum mode now. Exactly.
Amazing. Thanks, Rebecca. That was really fascinating. What an incredible journey from, swimming all the way through to an entrepreneur journey, all the way through to an exit, and now, being part of a bigger company. And your vision for swimming in the UK is, really, really aspirational. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you really enjoyed that as much as I did. Please leave us a review, tell your friends, and if there's any particular person you'd like to see on the show in the future, let me know. Thank you.